Well, there's some kind of major accident on the highways. So we're going to try an alternative route today. We're going to go Cornell Road. That's what we're going to do, Cornell Road. Which is the way that the 89 goes. And the 48, actually. I did the 89 last sign up, and now I'm doing the 48. And that's pretty much all Cornell Road, except for this part here, which is where it starts. Cornell is like Lovejoy Street. So now I'm going to stay off Burnside, because when there's an accident on the highway, everybody heads over to Burnside, of course. So I'm not going to head over to Burnside. I'm going to head on Cornell, which is actually kind of a nice drive. It takes a little longer, but I think I got enough time here. I left a little bit earlier to get through these speed bumps. I got all these speed bumps here. Well, the board meeting is over, and it was a defeat. John Hunt implored the board to compel Neil to go back into negotiations. One board member just walked out at that suggestion. That Tribune guy had at least some balls to discuss it. It was Lynn Learback, of course, that made the resolution. He's the only one that seems to have any sympathy at all for the riders and the drivers. I mean, everybody else is just corporate America. Might as well just be. I mean, TriMet's basically operated like a corporation now anyway. It's just, you got the CEOs rigging it in and sticking it to everybody else. And that's, a lot of us think they're on the first throes of privatization, which may not be that bad of an idea in the end. I mean, as long as they got to get it out of their hands, though. I mean, privatization would be okay if they got the management of it completely out of the executive hands, but they won't. You see, what they'll do is they'll just privatize. Privatization is just code for no benefits and lower wages. Just remember that. The word privatization just means lower wages and benefits. Doesn't mean anything else, because they don't have anywhere else to cut the costs. That's the only thing that privatization does. Especially when the privatized item is a government-funded, because it's not really privatization. You see, it's still being paid for by tax money, so it's fake privatization. If it was really privatization, the government wouldn't be involved with it at all. It would be a privately run venture, answerable not to the government at all. But that's not the plan. The plan is to privatize, aka lower our wages and benefits, using the rules. You see how it is? They have the rules all. That's the point I was going to make. We wanted to defer to our president to see if he could have one more chance to get these people to comply with the established rules of the game. But, you can't play the game with an opponent who also makes the rules. It's because the game is rigged. If you're playing a game with somebody, and those people that are playing against you are also the ones that make the rules, you don't have a chance to win, because they're making the rules. So they interpret the things the way they want to. So there's no way that the other opponent can win. And that's what's happening here. The game is rigged, and they make the rules. So either we bend over and take it, or we fight back. Now, we tried to play by their rules, and a lot of us already knew this wasn't going anywhere, but we wanted to defer to our president and give him the opportunity to at least try to convince them to use clearer heads in their approach. But it didn't work, so it's a defeat. But that's okay. You had to give them the chance. They had one last opportunity to work with us. And then, of course, the Milwaukee Light Rail pretty much sailed through. Cameron Johnson was the only one. My efforts to organize against it pretty much fizzled out. I didn't really try very hard other than put up some blog pieces about it, but it was a failure. All in all, the board meeting was a complete and total disaster for for the rail opponents and for the drivers. We lost everything. It was a complete and total loss. Not completely surprising, of course. Many of us knew that we were going to lose. I never had any illusions of winning any of it. I never thought we could pull any of this off. I knew that. That Milwaukee rail is going in, and they can't find the money for our benefits. They can't find the money for buses. They can't find the money to provide bus service, but they can find the money to put in the rail. And all the high-priced execs that go along with it, they can always find that money. And that's the funny thing about the world we live in right now. Oh yeah, Jeff Ackerson made a funny comment. He said, yeah, they're going to put up a brand new bridge out here, and it's funny because the joke now is you can watch the old bridge falling apart while you're traveling over the new bridge. Right, the bridge that's right next to this new Willamette Bridge is in shambles, and they can't find the money to repair that bridge, but they can find the money to to build a new bridge. Because it's a boondoggle. You understand? The boondoggles are what are getting funded, because that's where the payoffs are. That's where the money is. That's where all these payoffs that we'll never hear of because it's all very nicely hidden away in contracts. That's where the big money comes in. And that's why these things keep going through. And all those people sitting up there on that, they're all appointed by the people that make profit from the boondoggles. So it's basically a hopeless situation. But the TriMet activists are now ready to actually start some actual movements, okay? We hadn't really started anything yet. We wanted to go through the processes and allow the, the union president to get his attempt. But we can see now that that's not going to fail. And I'll admit, I am a hardcore on this. I'm one of the hardcore, but I'm not the only one. Don't think I represent the only person that's... And even if we weren't, losing health care, you got to understand, the press has portrayed us as all $100,000 a year employees, but there's two classes of employees here that really are going to get hit. There's two classes of us that actually are going to get hurt. The first class is the retirees. And John was bringing this point up. He said that, say you had retired as a part, it's called an MRO, which is their terminology for mini-run operator, which is a sort of a libelous term for a part-time operator. If you retired as a part-time operator, and say you had done 10 years of service, you're getting a retirement check of $450 a month. Well, that is now going to be decreased by whatever your contribution is going to be to your health. In my case, for example, it goes from $160 a month to $310 a month. So say I was making, my retirement check would be $450. Well, that's almost completely eaten up paying for that health care. And so that's going to hurt. So the retirees, the mini-run retirees, and even the older retirees who retired at 10 years, they're only getting $750. And so if they're paying for Family Blue Cross, they're going to be losing that money. There's no extra money coming in for those people. And the other people that get hurt, of course, are the current mini-run operators, like I just illustrated myself. I don't make that much money here. I make about $1,600 a month, $1,700 a month, somewhere in. That's after all the deductions I pay. So that's down to $1,400 a month. So I would like to live on that. So what is that a week? It's not much, is it? It's only like $400 a week. That's pretty small. And the bargain that was made when we started was that we were going to not have to pay for this health care, so a lot of us stayed part-time for that reason. But as we can see now, it's been a hey, what bus is that? 107th. This looks like a bad move on our part. Where's that go? It's got to be the bus 50, right? It's got to be the bus 50. It's actually a good way to go. Traffic was not bad at all. I would fight for it, even if the arbitrator ruled against it. I would still fight for it because it's definitely a fight that's worth having. What is this intersection? I can't. Where are we? Oh, Cedar Hills. Okay, we can go left here. Oh yeah, this is 89 territory here. Where did he? I thought that bus.